In answering about going to city council, the cooperation about which he speaks is very important. And being challenged to go to city council here,
It wasn't a challenge, it was a question.
the answer was yes, I had been, and then I stopped going. But here's where I'm going with my statement, sir. I've decided to run for city council to try and forge a better working relationship between the city and the CRDA. You guys, whether you know it or not, are the most hated entity in town by the residents.
That's an opinion that I don't necessarily agree with.
But there are many who would stand up and agree with me in this room.
It's
but
not
they
the
have the
residents of
courage.
Atlantic City. I don't want to debate with you that
I'm trying to say to you
Thank you.
that there is a place for council. It's not a place for argument. Ours is to move the city forward. Thank you.
Yes. Sean Reardon, a Atlantic City resident, as I said before. I came in today just to talk about the area that you guys in your master plan put as the Galleria District, which, if you're not familiar, that's between Boardwalk Hall and Tropicana on the beach blocks. The area is kind of significant in nature just because it's one of the last residential beach block areas that is still with 80+% of its housing intact, unlike the inlet where most of that's been torn down. The reason I want to talk today is because the current zoning that you guys enacted for that area excluded allowing single families and duplexes. And a lot of those properties in that area, the vast majority, are in fact row homes that were built in the early 1900s that are just that, single families and duplexes. So I find it counterproductive to rule these properties out, or per se zone these properties out. We have a true trash problem down there because all of these row homes have been chopped up over the years, and they were granted land uses for having a triplex in a single family home and so forth. And the process that you guys have created to deconvert these is actually quite costly for a developer, such as myself, who is dealing with that sort of process, where I have a property on South Bellevue Ave. It is 10.5 feet wide, and somebody got a land use for a triplex in this property. Now, once you had a staircase in, you have 7.5 feet left. I don't know how you could start having a new unit on each floor when you have 7.5 feet left. The properties were designed single family. Now, when you have to go through a variance to convert it back to a single family and pay all these money in different professional fees and CRDA fees, it's counterintuitive to what we're really doing here, which is trying to, like what Jim Johnson says, is re-envisioning what we already have, repurposing, restoring. You just said, Chairman, that you guys you want to take an action to restore that old term. I think when you were talking about Boardwalk Hall, this is just that. And if there's going to be these roadblocks in the way, I don't think you're going to see real improvement in terms of quality of living for these people that are in this neighborhood. I don't think you're going to see the trash problem improve. And I would just like I'd invite anybody to come down there and please just take a look. Because anybody who has two eyes could look at this and say, this can't be a triplex. And chopping these places up is where we got ourselves in the problem that we're in. Thank you for your time.
I think this body has bent over backwards to try and improve Atlantic City. We've been open to anybody who came in here with a logical, rational plan. I look around at this board and the people here and what they represent, and they care about what happens in Atlantic City.
Well, I don't care about your philosophies. I don't care about what political party you belong to. I could care less. But you need to stop fussing and arguing about this and about that. This is one city. Black, white, green, and orange, and purple. Period. We need to stop segregating ourselves with our talk.
All right, my name is James King L. of Vibe 609 Radio, local radio station. And it's very true that there's a big disconnect between the people and the officials. Somehow that has to change. That's about all I have to say.
You sat through the whole thing today. Look at the
Yes.
things that were approved by this board for the environment of the city. I don't know how anybody can say that having spent the money that we're doing and putting the things on, that we're not trying to look out for the people of Atlantic City. And we've been willing to do this.
Yes. I was still listening. You was done? What I'm going to say is I don't disagree with that. I believe what I heard today, everything was pretty much good. But what I'm saying is the public don't know. On my platform, I'm going to make sure they do. So I'm going to be a big part of that change we're talking about. And I agree with almost everything I heard just about in here today. But the public did not know anything about what's been going on for a long time. So now we are. That's what I'm saying.
And I appreciate that.
I'd just like to reiterate, I think they're doing a great job. The advertising, I've worked down in Atlantic City, the advertising on these events is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, but it's pretty good. But I would say the further you get away from the area, because I don't live in Atlantic City, I live about an hour away from here, many people don't have any idea these free events are going on. And I would encourage continue working with CRDA. Maybe we can take advantage of the Boardwalk Hall. You know, they have a website that advertises all their upcoming pay events. There's no reason every one of these that we sponsor should be on the Boardwalk Hall website indicating they're free.
Other comments from board members?
Just one, Mr. Chairman, if I could. Having the benefit of sitting on the Atlantic City Executive Council that met this morning, one of the topics of discussion is the coordination of all our marketing efforts and all the levels that are involved in that, whether it's jobs, careers. Howard, you and I shared conversations on this with the county, and certainly to all the arts that are provided in the city. So that message does get out bigger and broader and comprehensively as opposed to individually. So those efforts are going on for sure. All the participants, both those providing the entertainment and those of us that enjoy it.